Gentlemen, let me speak plainly. If you truly care about your manhood, the strength, the intimacy, the spark that makes you feel alive, then this message is for you. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott. For more than 30 years, I've guided men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond through the shadows of doubt back into the light of confidence. And I'll tell you the truth, your penis isn't just about sex. It's a living signal of your circulation, your hormones, your nervous system, your health itself. That's why today we'll uncover 10 things you must never do to your penis if you want to protect your vitality and keep your dignity intact. And trust me, number 10 will surprise you because most men never see it coming. But before we dive in, let me ask for one small action that brings a big reward. Hit the like button. Why? Because every like tells the algorithm this message matters, which means more men, maybe your own friends, brothers, or sons will get the truth they've been missing. And here's the part most people don't realize. When you click like, it actually locks this video into your YouTube history, making it easier to find later when you want to revisit it. Think of it as bookmarking your own roadmap to better health. So do yourself and the men around you that favor. Like, subscribe, share, and let's begin. Gentlemen, I need you to hear me carefully. The worst mistake a man can make as he grows older is to ignore the messages his penis is trying to send him. I've said it for decades in my practice. The penis is not just a tool of intimacy. It's not just about masculinity or pride. It is one of the most accurate barometers of your overall health. In fact, I often tell my patients, your penis will whisper the truth about your heart before your heart ever screams for help. Let me explain. Erectile dysfunction is not simply a bedroom inconvenience. It is what we call in medicine the canary in the coal mine. You see, coal miners once carried a canary in a small cage underground. If the bird stopped singing or fell silent, it meant deadly gases were present, warning the men to escape before they themselves collapsed. In the same way, when your erections become weaker, inconsistent, or disappear altogether, it's not just a bedroom problem. It's your body warning you that something deeper is wrong, most often with your circulation. Think about it. The arteries that carry blood to your penis are small, delicate, and incredibly sensitive. If those tiny vessels are struggling, it means the larger ones, the ones feeding your heart and brain, are not far behind. There's a landmark study that followed men after the first signs of erectile dysfunction. Within 7 years, 14% of them had a heart attack. 14%, that's not random. That's a red flare in the sky saying, if you ignore this, the consequences could be far greater than embarrassment in the bedroom. We're talking about life and death. Now, let's step back. Imagine a man named Harold. He's 68 years old, retired firefighter. He came into my office not because of chest pain, not because of shortness of breath, but because, as he put it, "Doc, I just can't keep it up anymore." At first, he thought it was just age, maybe stress, maybe bad luck, but when we ran his labs and checked his arteries, we discovered significant plaque buildup. He was headed toward a major cardiac event. His penis told the truth before his heart did. And because Harold didn't ignore it, because he chose to listen, we were able to treat him, adjust his lifestyle, and today he's still walking his dog, still enjoying evenings with his wife, still alive. So let me ask you plainly, how many of you are ignoring those signals right now? You notice softer erections, or maybe they don't last as long. Maybe you don't wake up hard in the morning anymore. You chalk it up to stress, to age, to just the way it is. But gentlemen, that is a dangerous lie. Weak erections are not simply about testosterone. They are about your blood vessels. They are about your nervous system. They are about whether your heart will keep beating strong or give up on you too soon. Some of you may be thinking, "Doctor, isn't this a bit dramatic? It's just sex." But I promise you, there's nothing just about it. Your penis is nature's early warning system, and if you ignore it, you are gambling with your future. Now here's the hopeful part. When you choose not to ignore your penis, when you decide to take those early signs seriously, you gain the upper hand. Because unlike many diseases that creep up silently, this one gives you a signal you can't miss. It gives you a chance to act before the damage spreads. That means seeing your doctor. That means asking the uncomfortable questions. That means checking your blood sugar, your cholesterol, your blood pressure. These are not shameful things, they are life-saving things. And let me speak to the pride issue because I know how men think. Many of you feel embarrassed, even humiliated, to sit across from another man or woman in a white coat and say, "I can't get an erection." You think it makes you less of a man. But let me be clear. What makes you less of a man is ignoring the problem until it robs you not just of intimacy, but of your very health. Courage is not pretending everything is fine. Courage is facing the truth head-on and doing something about it. I have seen too many stories of regret, men who ignored the warning signs until they were rushed into the ER with a heart attack, men who lost their lives because pride kept them silent. Don't be that man. Don't let your penis be crying out for help while you turn the other way. Here's what I want you to do instead. Start observing. Notice your erections. Notice if they are strong, if they are regular, if they are present in the morning. Keep track. These patterns are telling you more about your health than you might realize. And if you see a decline, not once, not twice, but consistently, take action. That action could save your heart, your brain, your very life. And gentlemen, here's something I want you to understand. When you listen to your penis, you're not just protecting yourself. You're protecting the people who love you. Your wife who still longs to be close to you. Your children who want you alive to see their weddings, their graduations, their milestones. Your grandchildren who want to climb into your lap and hear your stories. You are protecting your legacy. So the very first thing you must never do to your penis is ignore it. Because ignoring it means ignoring your body's truth. And once you start listening, once you start respecting those signals, you will find a new strength, a new urgency to take care of yourself. And let me leave you with this thought before we move forward. Your penis is not betraying you. It is saving you. It is the messenger that says, brother, something is wrong, fix it now before it's too late. Respect the messenger and you just might save your life. Gentlemen, I know how the mind of a man works when it comes to his penis. When performance slips, when confidence dips, desperation creeps in, and desperation makes men do foolish, even dangerous things. Let me say this as clearly as I can, never try to fix your penis with homemade tricks or so-called miracle remedies. That road leads not to recovery, but to injury, sometimes permanent, sometimes devastating. I've spent decades in urology. I've seen the strangest, saddest, and frankly, most dangerous attempts men have made to fix themselves. I wish I could laugh about it, but these are not jokes. These are real men whose lives and manhood were scarred forever because they fell for a lie. Let's talk about jelqing first. Maybe you've seen it online. Videos and forums promising length and girth if you just stretch your penis with your own hands in a certain way. I cannot count the number of young men who have walked into my office with pain, scarring, and erectile dysfunction because of jelqing. You see, the penis is not a muscle you can work out like a bicep. It's delicate vascular tissue filled with tiny chambers that trap blood. When you apply repeated forceful pressure, you create microtears in the tunica albuginea, the fibrous sheath that keeps blood where it belongs. Over time, those microtears heal as scar tissue. And scar tissue doesn't stretch, it contracts. Instead of gaining length, you lose function. Some men even develop curvature, what we call Peyronie's disease. Tell me what's more devastating than trading hope for harm? And it doesn't stop there. I once treated a man who decided that constriction bands were too expensive online, so he made his own. He cut a plastic ring from a Coke bottle and slid it onto his penis. It got stuck. His penis swelled, turned purple, and by the time he reached the ER, we had to call the fire department to bring in a jigsaw, yes, a jigsaw to cut the plastic off. Do you think he felt like more of a man in that moment? Or do you think the humiliation, the pain, the risk of losing his penis entirely was worth the $20 he tried to save? Another man, and I wish this were fiction, but it's not, used a literal metal construction nut. He thought he was being clever. That nut cut into his skin and trapped his blood so badly he nearly lost the organ altogether. We performed emergency surgery, and while we saved his life, his erections were never the same again. Then there are the miracle potions. Apple cider vinegar rubbed on the shaft, essential oils guaranteed to boost size, pills bought from late-night television or shady websites. None of them are backed by science. Some of them burn, some cause chemical irritation. Others interact with your heart or blood pressure medications. A man came to me once with blistered, peeling skin because he believed an online ad that said cayenne pepper mixed with oil would enlarge him. Gentlemen, that's not medicine, that's madness. I understand why men fall for these things. It's not stupidity, it's fear. Fear of aging, fear of disappointing a partner, fear of being less than. But fear, when it's not guided by truth, becomes a predator. And predators profit on your pain. That's why the internet is full of quick fixes, fake testimonials, and outrageous promises. They know you're desperate and they want your money. But let me tell you, no lotion, no pill. No home trick will make your penis longer, stronger, or healthier overnight. What they will do is waste your money, waste your time, and often damage the very organ you're trying to protect. So what's the right way forward? First, respect your body enough to trust real medicine. If you want to use a constriction ring, buy one designed for safety with release tabs from a reputable source. They cost less than a dinner out. If you're struggling with erections, see a urologist who can evaluate your blood flow, your hormones, your lifestyle. There are safe, proven treatments from medication to vacuum devices to shockwave therapy to lifestyle interventions that restore natural function. None of them involve vinegar, plastic, or crushing your shaft like a workout bar. Second, understand this. The fastest way to ruin your penis is to treat it like a science experiment. Your manhood is not a toy. It is not a hobby. It is part of your health, your identity, your legacy. You would not take a chainsaw to your car's engine to make it bigger. Why would you take a bottle of acid, a piece of hardware, or your own bare hands and abuse your penis in ways that no doctor on earth recommends? And third, I want to remind you of something: you're not broken. The problem isn't that you're too small or too weak or too old. The problem is that you've been lied to. Lies that say you must take dangerous shortcuts to keep your masculinity alive. Lies that say no doctor cares. Lies that say if you don't act now, you'll lose everything. The truth is, acting foolishly is what makes you lose everything. Acting wisely is what keeps you whole. So let me put this in plain words. Don't jelq. Don't pour vinegar, oils, or pepper on your shaft. Don't make your own devices out of bottles, nuts, or bands. Don't trust pills with labels you can't even pronounce. Do trust your body. Do trust proven science. Do trust that your worth as a man is not in quick fixes, but in taking responsible action. And gentlemen, let me make this point personal. When you avoid these dangerous do-it-yourself disasters, you're not just saving your penis. You're saving your confidence, your dignity, your future. Because there is nothing more tragic than a man who harms himself trying to heal himself. So remember this lesson: don't DIY your penis. The risk is too great. The reward is an illusion, and the damage can last forever. Take the safe path, the smart path, the dignified path. Your manhood deserves nothing less. Gentlemen, the simplest advice I can ever give you about your penis is this: treat it with respect. And respect begins with something basic: cleanliness. Now, I know many of you are thinking, "Doctor, I'm a grown man, I've been showering my whole life, I know how to keep clean." But let me tell you, after decades of treating men, I've learned one undeniable truth: most men either clean too little or they clean too much. Both are dangerous. Let's start with those who clean too little. If you are uncircumcised, your foreskin is a natural protective covering. But it also creates a pocket where sweat, oils, and dead skin cells can collect. That buildup is called smegma, and while the name alone might sound unpleasant, what it does to your health is far worse. Smegma is the breeding ground for bacteria and yeast. When it accumulates, you risk balanitis, an inflammation of the foreskin and head of the penis. Redness, swelling, pain, even foul odor. For some men, the infection is so severe they can't retract the foreskin at all, leading to what we call phimosis. Imagine the humiliation and discomfort of that. I once treated a man, 62 years old, who confessed he hadn't pulled back his foreskin in decades. He thought washing over the surface was enough. When he finally came in complaining of pain, we discovered a lesion, and worse, a cancerous growth hiding underneath. Do you see how serious this becomes? Penile cancer is rare, yes, but when it strikes, it is devastating, and often the earliest signs are hidden beneath a foreskin that hasn't been cleaned or inspected properly. So the first rule is this: if you have a foreskin, retract it. Clean underneath with warm water. Dry gently, replace it. Do this every single day, not once a week, not when you remember, every day, because daily habits determine long-term health. But now let's talk about the other extreme: over-cleaning. You'd be surprised how many men think scrubbing their penis with harsh soaps, fragrances, or even disinfectants will make them extra clean. Gentlemen, your penis is not a kitchen countertop. It is delicate skin full of sensitive nerve endings designed for pleasure. When you attack it with strong chemicals or rough scrubbing, you don't create cleanliness. You create irritation, micro-tears, and sometimes infection. I once had a patient, a meticulous gentleman in his 70s, who proudly told me he used an antibacterial scrub on his penis twice a day. He came in with red, cracked skin and burning pain every time he urinated. His intentions were good, he wanted to stay fresh, but his execution destroyed his protective barrier. Skin that should have been supple and sensitive became raw and inflamed. That's not hygiene, that's self-harm. So here's the truth: less is more. You don't need fancy products. You don't need to douse yourself in soap that smells like pine forests or ocean breezes. Warm water. A mild, unscented soap if necessary, gentle rinsing, that's it. Let the soapy water run over, don't scrub like you're sanding wood, then dry carefully. Moisture trapped under the foreskin is another breeding ground for infection. And here's something else you need to remember. Hygiene is not just about avoiding disease. It's about confidence. Have you ever hesitated to be intimate with your partner because you weren't sure if you were fresh enough? Have you ever noticed your partner pull back, not out of lack of desire, but out of discomfort from odor or irritation? Intimacy requires trust, and trust begins with cleanliness. When you keep yourself clean, properly clean, you show respect not just for your body, but for the person sharing it with you. Now, some of you may be wondering, what if I can't retract my foreskin at all? This is more common than you think. If that's you, it's time to talk to a doctor. Sometimes we can fix it with a steroid cream. Sometimes a small procedure is needed, but don't ignore it. Don't live your whole life unable to inspect your own penis. That's not strength, that's neglect. And let's address one final point. Cleanliness is also about vigilance. When you wash, don't just rinse and forget. Take a moment to look. Is the skin normal? Are there any ulcers, growths, or changes in color? This is your chance to catch problems early, before they become tragedies. I can't count how many cancers, infections, and even sexually transmitted diseases I've diagnosed because a man took a moment to notice something wasn't right. The shower can save your life if you use it wisely. Gentlemen, keeping your penis clean is not complicated. It doesn't require expensive products or secret techniques. It requires consistency, gentleness, and respect. Retract if you can, rinse with warm water. Avoid harsh chemicals, dry carefully, and inspect daily. That's it. The simplest routine, when done faithfully, prevents the most serious problems. But remember this, too little care breeds disease, too much care breeds injury. The secret is balance. Keep it clean, but don't overdo it. And I'll tell you why this matters so deeply, because your penis deserves dignity. It's not just flesh. It's a part of your health, your intimacy, your identity. When you take care of it properly, you affirm to yourself and to your partner that you are a man who respects his body and his life. That respect shines through in every relationship, in every act of love, in every quiet moment of confidence. So I leave you with this truth: daily care is not a burden, it's a blessing. It's the simplest gift you can give to yourself and the surest way to keep your manhood strong, healthy, and worthy of the life you're building. Gentlemen, if there is one thing I have learned after decades in medicine, it's this: men are stubborn when it comes to pain. We'll limp on a bad knee for years. We'll wave off chest pressure as just indigestion. And when it comes to the penis, too many men choose silence over action. They notice burning when they urinate, they see blood in their urine, they feel a sore that doesn't heal, and they ignore it. They tell themselves, it'll go away, it's nothing. I'll deal with it later. But later too often becomes too late. Your penis is not supposed to hurt. It is not supposed to bleed. It is not supposed to develop ulcers, lumps, or discharge. These are red flags, the body's alarm bells, and when you ignore them, you gamble with your health in ways you can't afford. Let me share a story. A man named Richard, 71 years old, came to me far too late. He had noticed a small sore on the head of his penis more than a year earlier. At first, he thought it was irritation from soap, maybe friction. When it didn't heal, he convinced himself it was nothing serious. Month after month, the sore grew larger. He was embarrassed, too ashamed to tell his wife, too proud to tell his doctor. By the time he finally walked into my office, the diagnosis was undeniable: penile cancer. A rare disease, yes, but aggressive, devastating, and far more difficult to treat in its advanced stages. Do you know what broke my heart the most? When Richard told me with tears in his eyes, if I had come sooner, maybe you wouldn't have to take so much of me away. He was right. Caught early, we could have treated him with far less trauma, but ignoring pain turned a small problem into a life-altering tragedy. Gentlemen, let's be clear, not every sore is cancer. Sometimes pain means infection, a urinary tract infection, a sexually transmitted disease, or even kidney or bladder stones. Sometimes it's a treatable condition like balanitis, but whether it's cancer or infection, ignoring it is the one guaranteed way to make it worse. Blood in your urine is another alarm bell. Many men dismiss it as just something I ate or probably nothing. But blood in the urine can mean kidney stones, bladder cancer, or even prostate cancer. These are not conditions you wish away. They require attention, investigation, treatment. The earlier we find them, the better your outcome, the more of your life and your manhood we can save. And let me address the real issue here: embarrassment. I know many of you hesitate to show your genitals to a doctor. You fear judgment. You think we'll laugh or scold or shame you. But hear me, real doctors don't judge. Real doctors fight for your life. If the doctor you see makes you feel ashamed, find another doctor. Your health is too important to sacrifice on the altar of pride. Now I want you to imagine this. You're with your partner. You've ignored that sore for months. You're trying to make love. But the pain is too much. You turn away. Your partner senses something is wrong, but you say nothing. Slowly, intimacy fades, not just physical closeness, but emotional connection, all because you were too afraid to face the truth. Does that sound like strength, or does that sound like surrender? Gentlemen, real strength is facing the mirror, admitting something is wrong, and taking action before it destroys you. Ignoring pain is not bravery, it is negligence. And it costs men their health, their marriages, and sometimes their very lives. So here's what I want you to remember. If you see blood in your urine, see a doctor immediately. If you notice a sore, an ulcer, or a growth that doesn't heal, get it checked. If sex causes pain, if urination burns, if swelling or discharge appears, don't wait. Every one of these is your body sending you a message. And just like with erectile dysfunction, the message is not to embarrass you. It's to protect you, it's to warn you before the damage spreads too far. Let me be blunt, the saddest conversations I've ever had were with men who waited too long. Men who thought ignoring it would make it go away. Men who said, "Doctor, I didn't want to know." But whether you want to know or not, reality doesn't change. The difference is whether you face it early, when the solution is small, or late, when the solution is catastrophic. And I want you to hear this. Not just with your ears, but with your heart. Your life is worth more than your pride. There is no shame in seeking help. There is only shame in losing what could have been saved. So don't ignore pain, don't dismiss red flags, don't silence the voice of your own body. Respect it. Listen to it, act on it. That's how you protect your health, your manhood, and your future. Because the truth is this, every warning sign is a gift. It's not your enemy, it's your chance to fight back. To intervene, to win, don't throw that gift away. Don't wait until it's too late. Gentlemen, let's talk about something most men don't like to admit. We often mistake recklessness for passion. In the heat of the moment, when desire takes over, we push harder, faster, wilder, believing that's the mark of strength, of masculinity. But when it comes to your penis, that mindset can lead you straight into disaster. The truth is simple. If you want to protect your manhood, you must learn two things: stay in control and stay safe. Now, when I say safe, most of you immediately think of sexually transmitted diseases or unplanned pregnancies. And yes, safe sex is critical. There is nothing sexier than peace of mind, knowing you can fully surrender to intimacy without fear of infection or consequences you didn't intend. Condoms, protection, communication with your partner, these aren't limitations, they are liberators. They free you to experience intimacy fully without hesitation or worry clouding your mind. But safe sex is only half the story. The other half, the part few men realize until it's too late, is physical control. Because gentlemen, let me warn you about one of the most catastrophic injuries a man can suffer in the bedroom: a penile fracture. I know it sounds impossible. How can you break something that doesn't have bones? But trust me, it happens, and it happens more often than you'd think. Picture this: you're fully erect, you thrust hard. You miss the target, and instead of sliding into your partner, you slam into the pubic bone or perineum. Suddenly you hear a sickening pop. Pain shoots through you, your erection disappears, and your penis swells, turning dark and misshapen. We call it the eggplant deformity. And let me be clear, this is not something you can ice at home. This is a surgical emergency. I once treated a man, 59 years old, who came in after such an accident. He was too embarrassed to go to the ER immediately. He thought maybe it'll heal by morning. By the time he came to us, scar tissue had already begun forming. We operated, but his erections never fully recovered. He told me with regret, "Doctor, if only I had controlled myself, if only I had sought help sooner." That's why I tell every man, control is not weakness. Control is wisdom. During intimacy, hold your partner's hips. Guide the angle. Slow down if things get too wild. Passion is not about losing yourself to chaos. It's about channeling your energy safely, powerfully, and without fear. And let's not forget the role of lubrication. Gentlemen, lube is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of intelligence. Friction is the enemy of sensitive tissue. Without proper lubrication, skin tears, irritation, and even fractures become more likely. Too many men view lube as unnecessary, or worse, as admitting their partner isn't aroused enough. But that's a myth. Women, especially as they age or during menopause, naturally produce less lubrication. Certain medications, stress, or hormones can also reduce it. It has nothing to do with attraction or desire. Using lube doesn't mean your partner isn't into you, it means you're smart enough to protect both of you from injury and enhance pleasure. Now let's return to safety. Safe sex isn't just about condoms, though they are vital. It's also about conversations. Have you talked openly with your partner about sexual health, about testing, about contraception? You may feel awkward. But awkwardness is nothing compared to the devastation of an untreated infection. I've seen men ignore burning urination for weeks, only to discover they had gonorrhea or chlamydia that could have been prevented with one honest talk and one protective barrier. Let me give you another story. A man named James, 64, came to me not because of erectile dysfunction, but because of pain during sex. He had ignored it for months, embarrassed to admit it even to his wife. When we examined him, we found scarring inside his urethra from repeated untreated infections. His silence cost him not only his health, but intimacy with his wife, who felt rejected and confused all those months he pulled away. Do you see the ripple effect? When you neglect safety, you don't just hurt yourself, you hurt the people you love. And here's something else. Intimacy is supposed to be joy, not fear. Safe sex is liberating because it allows you to be fully present. No worries about what if. No silent anxiety stealing the moment, just connection, trust, and pleasure. That is real masculinity, not recklessness, not bravado, but the strength to protect, to care, to stay in control. So let me give you the core lessons of this part. Always use protection. Experiment with different condoms until you find one that feels natural and comfortable. Stay in control of your body. Guide the rhythm, hold the angle, prevent accidents, use lubricant. It reduces friction, increases pleasure, and prevents injury. Don't delay treatment. If something feels wrong after sex, pain, swelling, bruising, get medical help immediately. Gentlemen, staying in control doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you a man who values himself and his partner. It makes you the kind of man who doesn't leave his health or his relationships to chance. And remember, the strongest men I know are not the wildest in the bedroom. They are the ones who understand that passion without wisdom destroys. But passion with safety builds trust, connection, and longevity. So stay in control, be safe. Protect your manhood not just from disease, but from injury, from regret, from loss. Because once it's gone, it's gone. But when you protect it, when you respect it, your intimacy, your strength, your vitality, they last. Gentlemen, here's a truth many men don't realize until it's too late. Your testicles are designed to live cooler than the rest of your body. That's why they hang outside in the scrotum while your heart, your liver, and your kidneys stay tucked safely inside. Nature placed them there for a reason, because sperm production, testosterone balance, and overall reproductive health require a very narrow, carefully maintained temperature. Raise that temperature too high too often, and you compromise not only your fertility, but your hormones, your vitality, and even your erections. Now I know what you're thinking. Doctor, are you telling me I can't enjoy a hot bath or sit in a jacuzzi? No, I'm not saying you must avoid them entirely. But I am saying this: prolonged, repeated exposure to heat can slowly suffocate the very cells that keep you feeling like a man. I'll tell you about a patient of mine, Robert, 55 years old. He was a successful businessman, but he loved his sauna. Every evening, without fail, he sat in 40 minutes of steam, phone in hand, unwinding from the stress of the day. But when he and his wife tried to have another child, he came to me in confusion. His sperm count was alarmingly low, his testosterone was below average for his age, and his erections had started to weaken. When I traced back his lifestyle, the sauna stood out like a red flag. By constantly bathing his testicles in high heat, he was sabotaging his own vitality. When he cut back, his numbers improved. Gentlemen, that's no coincidence. That's physiology. Let's talk science for a moment. The process of spermatogenesis, making sperm, requires the testicles to stay about 24 degrees cooler than your core body temperature. Heat interferes with this process. Too much heat causes sperm to die off before they mature. It also disrupts the Leydig cells, the little power plants that produce testosterone. Low testosterone means low drive, low energy, weaker erections, and even muscle loss. Do you see how one seemingly harmless habit can cascade into problems across your entire manhood? And it's not just saunas or hot tubs. Think about modern life. How many of you sit with a laptop on your thighs for hours? That machine pumps heat directly onto your groin. Or how many of you keep your phone in your front pocket all day, pressed against your testicles, emitting not just heat but radiation? These daily habits slowly chip away at your strength. I'll never forget a younger patient, only 36, who worked in tech. He coded for hours each night with his laptop resting across his lap. He came in terrified after 2 years of trying to conceive with his wife, only to discover his sperm count was nearly zero. When I told him to switch to a desk and keep his phone in his back pocket, he laughed until 6 months later his wife was pregnant. That wasn't luck. That was biology finally given the chance to do its job. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not here to take away your pleasures. A jacuzzi with friends, a hot bath for sore muscles, these moments have their place. But what I am saying is don't make it a lifestyle. Don't sit for an hour in steaming water every day. Don't bake your groin in tight underwear and a laptop for 8 hours. Don't trap your manhood in a sauna of your own making. Moderation is the key. So what can you do? Start with these simple changes. If you use a laptop, put it on a desk or table, not your lap. Keep your phone in your back pocket or jacket, not pressed against your testicles. Limit hot tub or sauna sessions, 10 to 15 minutes occasionally, not 40 minutes daily. Wear breathable underwear, not skin-tight synthetic fabrics that trap heat. These little adjustments protect your fertility, your testosterone, and your erections. And let me tell you, they're worth it. Because once you lose sperm production, once your testosterone begins to plummet, the climb back up is not easy. Gentlemen, we live in a world where convenience often costs us health. A hot laptop feels easier than setting up at a desk. A tight pair of pants may look stylish, but suffocates the very part of you that makes life possible. Every choice you make either honors your biology or undermines it. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about children or testosterone numbers on a lab sheet. This is about how you feel every morning when you wake up. Do you feel energy? Do you feel drive? Do you feel alive? Keeping your testicles cool is one of the simplest, most overlooked ways to preserve that vitality. So remember this phrase, don't make it hot. Protect your manhood from unnecessary heat. Because unlike your muscles or your heart, your testicles cannot adapt to a warmer world. They shut down, they wither, and you pay the price. Stay smart, stay cool, and you'll stay vital. Gentlemen, let's talk about something most men keep in the shadows, masturbation. I know the word alone makes some of you shift in your chair, but listen to me carefully. There is nothing shameful about self-pleasure. What is dangerous, what can quietly rob you of intimacy and performance, is how you do it. Too many men are not gentle with themselves. They grip too hard, move too fast, or rely on techniques that no human partner could ever replicate. We call it the death grip. It's when you squeeze your penis so tightly, so aggressively, that your nervous system becomes conditioned to that one type of stimulation. The problem? No vagina, no mouth, no loving touch from a partner can recreate that. Over time, you train your body to respond only to that extreme pressure. Then when you're finally with your partner, you struggle to get aroused or to stay aroused. You wonder why you can't feel the same intensity. The answer is simple. You've taught your body to crave something unnatural. I remember a patient, Stephen, 42 years old. He came into my office distraught, convinced he was broken. He told me, "Doc, I can get an erection when I'm alone, but with my wife, nothing." When I asked how he masturbated, he demonstrated with his hands, mimicking a crushing grip. Years of that had numbed his sensitivity. He wasn't broken, he was just misstrained. When he softened his approach, used lubrication, and allowed his body to relearn gentler sensations, his intimacy returned. But it took months. Gentlemen, this is a habit worth breaking before it breaks you. And let me be clear, being gentle isn't just about your grip, it's about your mindset. Too many men treat masturbation like a guilty secret, a rushed act in the corner, a frantic race before someone walks in. That creates shame, tension, and anxiety around the most natural of human experiences. Instead of nourishing your nervous system, it stresses it, and stress is the enemy of erections. So what's the right way? Treat your body the way you would want a partner to treat it. Use lubricant to mimic natural intimacy. Slow down, allow arousal to build, let your body breathe. This isn't a competition. It's a practice of connection with yourself, a chance to learn what brings you pleasure in a way that strengthens, not sabotages your intimacy with others. There's another danger here, injury. I've treated men who were so aggressive with themselves they tore skin, caused bleeding, or created micro-trauma in the shaft. Those little injuries might heal, but they leave behind scar tissue, and scar tissue doesn't stretch. Over time, it bends your erections, weakens your sensitivity, and makes arousal more difficult, all because you weren't gentle with yourself. Now, I want to address the guilt many men feel. You grew up being told masturbation was dirty, wrong, or shameful, and that message follows you into adulthood. But the truth is this: your body was designed for sexual function. Nighttime erections, arousal, orgasm, these are not accidents, they are part of your health. They keep blood flowing to your penis, oxygenating the tissue, maintaining elasticity. To deny that is to deny your biology. But to abuse it with harshness or shame is to destroy what nature gave you. Gentlemen, listen carefully. Being gentle with yourself is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's about preserving sensitivity, protecting your nervous system, and preparing your body to respond to a partner with ease and joy. Here are the rules I want you to carry with you. Never use a crushing grip. If your partner couldn't replicate it, don't train yourself to crave it. Always use lubrication. Dry friction is damage waiting to happen. Slow down. This isn't about release. It's about retraining your nervous system to respond naturally. Release the shame. Masturbation is not sin or sickness, it's biology. What matters is how you practice it. I'll tell you something else. When men learn to be gentle with themselves, they often rediscover intimacy with their partners. Why? Because they are no longer frustrated by the gap between solo pleasure and shared pleasure. They reconnect. They find that touch, that warmth, that human closeness becomes enough again. And that is priceless. So don't punish yourself. Don't train yourself into numbness. Don't turn a healthy practice into a destructive one. Be gentle, respect your body, protect your sensitivity, because the truth is this: your penis isn't a machine. It's not meant to endure crushing pressure or rushed abuse. It's meant to feel, to connect, to remind you of the joy of being alive. And here's the deeper message. How you treat yourself alone is a reflection of how you show up with others. Be harsh with yourself and intimacy suffers. Be kind, patient, and respectful, and intimacy thrives. So, gentlemen, the next time you're alone, remember this: you're not just passing time, you're training your body, your brain, and your future. Train it wisely, train it gently, and you'll keep your sensitivity, your strength, and your manhood alive. Gentlemen, we've talked about cleanliness, about avoiding injuries, about treating yourself with respect. But now we must face the biggest truth of all. Your lifestyle is either building your erections or destroying them. Every cigarette, every drink, every skipped walk is either fueling your manhood or choking it. There is no middle ground. Let me start with smoking, because this one is simple. Smoking kills erections. Not maybe, not sometimes. Always. Every puff of tobacco sends toxins into your bloodstream that damage the lining of your arteries. And remember, erections are nothing more than blood rushing into delicate vessels. When those vessels are scarred, narrowed, or clogged, blood flow stops. No blood flow, no erection. It's that straightforward. I had a patient, Thomas, 63 years old, who came to me furious. "Doc," he said, "the pills don't work anymore. I used to take them and everything was fine. Now, nothing." He smoked a pack and a half a day. His arteries were stiff as stone. The pills weren't the problem was his lifestyle. When he quit smoking and started walking daily, his health improved. It took time, but his erections slowly returned. Gentlemen, that wasn't magic. That was his body finally breathing again. And smoking doesn't stop at ED. It leads to bladder cancer. And let me tell you, bladder cancer is one of the ugliest battles I've seen. Repeated scopes, painful surgeries, even bladder removal. All preventable if only men had put down the cigarettes. Now let's talk about food. You cannot fuel your body with processed junk, sugar, and fried grease and expect your manhood to thrive. Erections require strong arteries, steady hormones, and low inflammation. But what do processed foods do? They clog your arteries, imbalance your hormones, and inflame every cell in your body. It's like pouring sand into your gas tank and wondering why the engine sputters. Contrast that with a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. These foods lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and keep testosterone strong. For example, leafy greens like spinach and kale boost nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and floods your penis with blood. Nuts and seeds provide zinc and magnesium, critical for testosterone. Fish rich in omega-3s protect your arteries from stiffening. Food is not just calories, food is medicine, food is erection fuel. Then there's exercise. And here's where many of my older patients groan. "Doc, I'm too old for the gym, my knees hurt, my back aches." But let me tell you, the body does not care about your excuses. Blood flow improves with movement. Testosterone rises with resistance. Confidence grows with strength, and you don't need to deadlift 300 pounds or run marathons. Start walking 20 minutes a day. Add light weights, resistance bands, even bodyweight squats. Every step pumps blood through your arteries, keeps your vessels flexible, and trains your heart to deliver oxygen where it's needed most. Let's not forget stress. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, the hormone that shuts down testosterone production. I've seen men with perfectly normal arteries but limp erections because they lived under constant stress. Stress at work, stress at home, stress in silence. And what did they do to cope? Smoke more, drink, eat worse, move less. A vicious cycle. Break it and your health rebounds, stay in it and you spiral downward. Gentlemen, erectile dysfunction is not just a bedroom issue, it's a biomarker, a warning that your arteries, your hormones, and your nervous system are under siege, and the weapons are in your own hands: the cigarette you light, the food you eat, the steps you take or don't take. So let me give you the blueprint. Quit smoking, not tomorrow. Not cutting down. Quit. Eat real food, more plants, lean proteins, healthy fats, fewer boxes, bags, and drive-through meals. Move daily, walk, lift, stretch. Do something that gets your blood flowing. Manage stress. Meditate, breathe, pray, or simply talk. Don't let silent pressure steal your manhood. Limit alcohol. A glass of wine occasionally is fine. A bottle every night will destroy you. I'll leave you with a story. George, 72, came to me defeated. He smoked for decades, lived on processed food, never exercised. His erections had vanished, his heart was weak, his wife felt abandoned. We built a plan. Step by step, he quit smoking. He changed his breakfast from bacon and donuts to oatmeal and berries. He started walking 5 minutes, then 10, then 30. Within a year, his blood pressure was down, his heart was stronger, and yes, his erections returned. His wife told me with tears in her eyes, "Doctor, you didn't just save his life, you saved our marriage." Gentlemen, that is the power of lifestyle. Don't think for a second that pills or surgeries can replace what daily choices create. Your penis is not separate from your body. It's the mirror of your habits. If you poison yourself, it fails. If you nourish yourself, it thrives. So remember this truth: don't smoke, eat clean, exercise. Your erections depend on it, your heart depends on it, your life depends on it. Gentlemen, there's an old saying that makes many men chuckle but few take seriously: use it or lose it. When it comes to your penis, that phrase isn't a joke. It's a physiological truth, one that too many men learn only when it's too late. Here's what I mean: your penis isn't just skin and flesh. It's living tissue designed to fill with oxygen-rich blood. And just like your muscles shrink when you stop using them, your penis can weaken, scar, and even shorten if you stop getting regular erections. That's right, without consistent blood flow, the tissue loses elasticity. Fibrous scar tissue creeps in. Over time, your manhood literally shrinks. Now, some of you might be thinking, "Doc, I don't need sex anymore. My wife and I are older. We don't care about that part of life." I hear this all the time. But here's the danger: even if you're not pursuing intimacy, your body still needs erections both during the day and at night. In fact, healthy men have 3 to 5 erections every night while they sleep. It's your body's built-in maintenance program, keeping tissue oxygenated and pliable. Lose that and you lose more than just performance. You lose the very structure of your manhood. Let me tell you about a patient, Frank, 67 years old. He came to me worried because his penis felt shorter, less firm, almost rubbery. He hadn't had sex in years. He also confessed he no longer woke up with morning erections. What happened? Without regular use, both conscious and unconscious, his penile tissue began to scar and shrink. By the time he sought help, recovery was difficult. Gentlemen, his story is a warning: disuse is decay. Now, use it doesn't mean reckless overuse. It doesn't mean aggressive habits that injure you. It means maintaining sexual health through intimacy with a partner or through safe, gentle masturbation. It means protecting your nighttime erections by caring for your heart, your hormones, your stress. Because those nocturnal erections aren't just for pleasure, they are your body's way of preserving your manhood. And here's another layer: libido or sex drive is like a muscle too. The more you neglect it, the weaker it becomes. Stress, low hormones, depression, or simply falling out of the habit can make desire fade. But once it fades, it feeds on itself. You don't feel desire, so you avoid intimacy. You avoid intimacy, so you feel even less desire. Soon, your body forgets what it feels like to want. That's not aging. That's neglect. I'll share another story. A man named Leonard, 74, came into my office with his wife. She looked more heartbroken than he did. She said, "Doctor, I feel like I've lost him. We don't touch anymore. We don't even try." Leonard shrugged. "I just thought it was over for me." But it wasn't over. We worked on his stress, adjusted his lifestyle, and encouraged him to reintroduce intimacy gently without pressure. Within months, his desire returned. His wife's tears turned into laughter. Gentlemen, intimacy is not just about sex, it's about connection, about keeping the spark of life alive. So when I say use it, I'm not telling you to chase performance like a teenager. I'm telling you to honor your biology, keep the pathways open, protect the flow of blood, preserve the sensitivity. And when I say lose it, I don't mean overnight. It happens quietly, slowly, until one day you realize it's gone. Here's what you can do. Pay attention to morning erections. If they fade consistently, that's a red flag. Stay sexually active in some form, partnered or solo, keep blood moving. Care for your health, blood flow, hormones, stress, so your nighttime erections continue. Don't let shame or avoidance steal intimacy from your life. And let me make this clear, age is not the enemy. I have patients in their 80s who remain sexually active, vital, and fulfilled. The enemy is neglect. The enemy is silence. The enemy is surrender. Gentlemen, intimacy is a gift for your health, for your heart, for your partner. It keeps you young. It keeps you connected. It keeps you alive. So remember this truth, use it or lose it. And believe me, losing it is not inevitable. It's preventable if you take action now. Because at the end of the day, your manhood is not just about what happens between the sheets. It's about how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Confident, strong, present, alive. Don't let neglect steal that from you. Choose to stay engaged. Choose to stay connected. Choose to use it and keep it. Gentlemen, let's close with a truth many men laugh at until it comes knocking at their own door. Use it or lose it. That line isn't just a catchy phrase, it is hard biology. Your penis, like every part of your body, survives and thrives on use. Erections aren't just for intimacy or pleasure. They are a maintenance program your body runs to keep the tissue alive. Every healthy man has 3 to 5 erections during the night. These aren't signs of lust or dreams. They are your body's way of flushing oxygen-rich blood into the chambers, keeping them elastic, supple, and responsive. Stop that process and things begin to change. The garden without water withers, and so too does the penis without blood flow. When erections fade, both during intimacy and at night, the risks are real. Without oxygen, tissue begins to scar. Fibrosis slowly creeps in, replacing healthy chambers with stiffened, inflexible tissue. The result, shrinkage, weaker erections, and in some cases, a penis that no longer responds at all. This isn't just aging. This is disuse, and it can set in far faster than most men realize. I've seen it again and again in my clinic. Frank, 67, came to me one afternoon, his voice barely above a whisper. "Doc, I think something's wrong. It feels smaller, softer, not like it used to." He hadn't had regular sex in years, and his morning erections had long vanished. Testing showed scar tissue already forming, his body quietly rewriting itself in the absence of use. Contrast his case with Leonard, 74, who nearly gave up intimacy altogether until he and his wife decided to try again, slowly, without pressure, gently rebuilding their connection. Within months, his nocturnal erections began to return. His wife later told me with tears in her eyes, "Doctor, you didn't just give me back a husband in bed, you gave me back the man I married." The difference was not age or fate but choice. One man ignored the signs and lost ground. The other chose to re-engage and regain not just function but closeness. That's the essence of this lesson. Staying active sexually, whether through intimacy with a partner or safe, gentle self-practice, is not about chasing youth. It's about honoring your biology. Erections are not optional luxuries. They are vital to keeping your tissue healthy and your manhood intact. When you maintain circulation with good food, exercise, and stress control, you protect your nighttime erections. When you nurture intimacy, you protect your emotional bond with your partner. Intimacy is more than sex. It is health, it is connection, it is a marker of life still being lived, and so we come full circle. Across these 10 truths we've walked through together, we've seen that your penis is not just about performance. It is the barometer of your health, the messenger of your circulation, hormones, and nervous system. Ignore it and you ignore yourself. Respect it, and you reclaim not only your manhood but your future. Remember this above all, you are not broken, you are in control. Age does not erase your worth. Struggles do not define you. The choice to listen, to act, to adapt, that is what defines a man. So here is my call to action. If this message has reached you, do one simple thing, hit the like button. Not for me, but for you. That click saves this message in your history so you can find it again when doubt creeps in. More than that, every like pushes this truth out to other men who are suffering in silence, wondering if their best years are behind them. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this is not the last time you need to hear these words, and I will be here with more guidance, more science, more hope. Comment even a single word, listening, so that together we break the silence. And share this with a brother, a friend, a son. Because too many men are living in the shadows, and your action may be the light that brings them back. Gentlemen, intimacy is not gone, vitality is not gone, manhood is not gone. Use it, protect it, honor it, or risk losing it. The choice is yours. And I promise you, if you choose wisely, the best years are not behind you. They are waiting, still ahead, still within your hands. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and may health and dignity always be yours.